Skip to content. Main menu. Index. 108 names. Mantras. Yantras. Pictures. Puja. Scriptures. Navagrahas menu toggle. Buddha. Chandra. Guru. Kitu. Mangala. Rayu. Shani. Shukra. Surya. Below header click for shop menu. Shop. Share on Facebook. Facebook. Share on Pinterest. Pinterest. Share on Twitter. Twitter. Share on LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Share on WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Share on VK. VK. Durga. 108 names of Durga. 108 names of Durga V1. 108 names of Durga V2. 108 names of Durga in Sanskrit. All 9 forms of Durga, Nava Durga. Durga Yantras. Durga Mantras. Durga Pictures. Shiva. 108 names of Shiva. 108 names of Shiva in Sanskrit. Shiva Sahasranama. Shiva Yantras. Shiva Mantras. Shiva Pictures. Triambakam Mantra. Vishnu. 108 names of Vishnu. 108 names of Satyanarayana. 1000 names of Vishnu. 108 names of Vishnu in Sanskrit. Vishnu Yantras. Vishnu Mantras. Vishnu Pictures. Krishna. 108 names of Krishna. 60 names of Raja Gopala. 108 names of Raja Gopala in Sanskrit. Demons killed by Krishna. Krishna Yantras. Krishna Mantras. Krishna Pictures. Brahma. 12 names of Brahma. Brahma Mantras. Brahma Pictures. Lakshmi. 108 names of Lakshmi. 108 names of Lakshmi in Sanskrit. 8 forms of Lakshmi. Lakshmi Yantras. Lakshmi Mantras. Lakshmi Pictures. Parvati. 108 names of Parvati. 1008 names of Parvati. Parvati Yantras. Parvati Mantras. Parvati Pictures. Sarasvati. 108 names of Sarasvati. Sarasvati Yantras. Sarasvati Mantras. Sarasvati Pictures. Gayatri Devi. 108 names of Gayatri in Sanskrit. Gayatri Yantras. Gayatri Mantra Explanation. Gayatri Pictures. Ganesha. 108 names of Ganesha V1. 108 names of Ganesha V2. 108 names of Ganesha explained. Ganesha names meanings. 108 names of Ganesha V3. Ganesha Bhajana in Sanskrit. 108 names of Ganapati in Sanskrit. 108 names of Siddhi Vinayaka in Sanskrit. Ganesha Arati. Ganesha Yantras. Ganesha Mantras. Ganesha Pictures. Skanda. 108 names of Skanda. Skanda Mantras. Skanda Pictures. Radha. 16 names of Radha. 108 names of Radha. 158 names of Radha on K. 291 names of Radha. Radha Stuti. Radha Mantras. Radha Pictures. Tulasi. 108 names of Tulasi Devi. 108 names of Tulasi in Sanskrit. Tulasi mantras. Tulasi pictures. Hanuman. 108 names of Hanuman. Hanuman yantras. Hanuman mantras. Hanuman pictures. 108 names of Hanuman in Sanskrit. Kali. 100 names of Kali. 1008 names of Kali. Kali yantras. Kali mantras. Kali pictures. Bagalamukhi. 108 names of Bagalamukhi. 1108 names of Bagalamukhi. Bagalamukhi yantras. Bagalamukhi mantras. Bagalamukhi pictures. Patanjali. About Patanjali. Patanjali mantras. Patanjali pictures. Chaitanya. 108 names of Chaitanya. Panchatattva Gayatri and Bija mantras. Chaitanya pictures. Nityananda. 108 names of Nityananda. Nityananda pictures. Agni. Agni mantras. Agni pictures. Dattatreya. 108 names of Dattatreya. Pictures of Dattatreya. Vishvakarma. 108 names of Vishvakarma. Vishvakarma pictures. Kubra. 108 names of Kubra. Kubra mantras. Kubra pictures. Bhairava. Description and forms of Bhairava. 108 names of Bhairava. 108 names of Bhairava in Sanskrit. Kal Bhairava Ashtakam. Bhairava mantras. Bhairava yantras. Bhairava pictures. Tanvantri. Tanvantri mantras. Tanvantri pictures. Indra. Indra mantras. Indra pictures. Tara. Tara mantras. Tara yantras. Tara pictures. Tripura Sundari. Tripura Sundari yantras. Tripura Sundari mantras. Tripura Sundari pictures. Matsaya. Matsaya pictures. Kurma. Kurma pictures. Varaha. Varaha pictures. Narasimha. 108 names of Narasimha. 1000 names of Narasimha. 1008 names of Narasimha. Narasimha Kavakorm. Narasimha yantras. Narasimha mantras. Narasimha pictures. Vamana. Vamana pictures. Parashurama. Parashurama pictures. Rama. 108 names of Rama. Rama pictures. Balarama. Balarama yantras. Balarama pictures. Gautama Buddha. Buddha pictures. Kalki. Kalki pictures. Navagraha, Surya. Surya yantras. Surya mantras. Surya pictures. Navagraha, Chandra. 108 names of Chandra. 108 names of Chandra in Sanskrit. Chandra yantras. Chandra mantras. Chandra pictures. Navagraha, Mangala. 108 names of Mangala. 108 names of Mangala in Sanskrit. Mangala yantras. Mangala mantras. Mangala pictures. Navagraha, Buddha. 108 names of Buddha. 108 names of Buddha in Sanskrit. Buddha yantras. Buddha mantras. Buddha pictures. Navagraha, Guru. 108 names of Guru, Brihaspati. 108 name of Guru, Brihaspati, in Sanskrit. Guru yantras. Guru mantras. Guru pictures. Navagraha, Shukra. 108 names of Shukra. 108 names of Shukra in Sanskrit. Shukra yantras. Shukra mantras. Shukra pictures. Navagraha, Shani. 108 names of Shani. 108 names of Shani in Sanskrit. Shani yantras. Shani mantras. Shani pictures. Navagraha, Rayu. 108 names of Rayu. 108 names of Rayu in Sanskrit. Rayu yantras. Rayu mantras. Rayu pictures. Navagraha, Kitu. 108 names of Kitu. 108 names of Kitu in Sanskrit. Kitu yantras. Kitu mantras. Kitu pictures. Scriptures. Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Chapter 1, on asanas. Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Chapter 2, on pranayama. Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Chapter 3, on mudras. Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Chapter 4, on samadhi. Mantras. Asatoma mantra. Bagalamukhi mantras. Bhairava mantras. Brahma mantras. Buddha mantras. Chandra mantras. Durga mantras. Ganesha mantras. Gayatri mantra explanation. Guru mantras. Hanuman mantras. Kitu mantras. Krishna mantras. Kubra mantras. Lakshmi mantras. Mangala mantras. Mula mantra. Narasama mantras. Parvati mantras. Patanjali mantras. Punam mantra. Radha mantras. Rayu mantras. Sarasvati mantras. Shani mantras. Shanti mantra. Shiva mantras. Shukra mantras. Skanda mantras. Surya mantras. Tara mantras. Tripura Sundari mantras. Triambakam mantra. Tulasi mantras. Vishnu mantras. Yantras. Bagalamukhi yantras. Balarama yantras. Bhairava yantras. Buddha yantras. Chandra yantras. Durga yantras. Ganesha yantras. Gayatri yantras. Guru yantras. Hanuman yantras. Kali yantras. Kitu yantras. Krishna yantras. Lakshmi yantras. Mangala yantras. Narasama yantras. Parvati yantras. Rayu yantras. Sarasvati yantras. Shani yantras. Shiva yantras. Shukra yantras. Surya yantras. Tara yantras. Tripura Sundari yantras. Vishnu yantras. More to come. No posts yet. 1008 names of Kali. 1. Smasanaikalika, she who is the remover of darkness from the cremation grounds or from death. 2. Kali, she who is the remover of darkness. 3. Bhadrakali, she who is the excellent remover of darkness. 4. Kapalini, she who is the bearer of the skulls of impurity. 5. Guhyakali, she who is the hidden or secretive remover of darkness. 6. Mahakali, she who is the great remover of darkness. 7. Kurukalaviradhini, she who confronts the forces of duality. 8. Kalika, she who is the cause of removing darkness. 9. Kalaratriska, she who is the dark night of egotism. 10. Mahakalanitambini, she who is the eternal mother of great time. 11. Kalabhairavabharya, she who is the wife of the fearfulness of infinite time. 12. Kulavatma Prakasini, she who illuminates the whole world family. 13. Kamada, she who is the giver of all desire. 14. Kamini, she who is the giver of this desire. 15. Kamya, she who is desired. 16. Kamani Asvabhavani, she who is the intrinsic nature of that which is desired. 17. Kasturi Rosaliptanjai, she whose limbs are anointed with the juice of musk. 18. Kunjaris Varagamini, she who moves like the Lord of Elephants. 19. Kakaravana Sarvanjai, she who is all the limbs of the letter Ka, the cause. 20. Kamani, she who is this desire. 21. Kamasundrai, she who sigh beautiful desire. 22. Kamata, she who is the object of desire. 23. Kamarupasiya, she who is the form of desire. 24. Kamadana, she who is the cow which fulfills all desires. 25. Kalavati, she who is the repository of all qualities or arts. 26. Kanta, she who is beauty enhanced by love. 27. Kamasvarupasiya, she who is the intrinsic form of desire. 28. Kamekhaya, she whose name is desire. 29. Kilapalini, she who protects excellence. 30. Kulina, she who is excellence. 31. Kilavayuyamba, she who is the repository of excellence. 32. Durga, she who is the reliever of difficulties. 33. Durgatinasini, she who is the destroyer of all various difficulties. 34. Kumrai, she who is ever pure. 35. Kilaja, she who gives birth to excellence. 36. Kasna, she who manifests all action. 37. Kasnadha, she who had a dark body. 38. Kasodara, she who holds aloft all action. 39. Kasamjai, she who embodies all actions. 40. Kulasamjai Siya, she who is the embodiment of excellence. 41. Krimkari, she who causes dissolution of the subtle body into the causal body. 42. Kamala, she who is lotus, Lakshmi. 43. Kala, she who is art or all attributes. 44. Karalasia, she who has a gaping mouth. 45. Karali Siya, she who dissolves all into her being. 46. Kilakanta Parajita, she whose excellent beauty is undefeated. 47. Ugra, she who is terrible. 48. Ugraprabha, she whose light is terrible. 49. Dipta, she who is light. 50. Viprasita, she whose objects of consciousness are varied. 51. Mahanana, she who has a great face. 52. Nilagana, she who has the complexion of a dark cloud. 53. Valakasiya, she who exemplifies the freedom of a swan. 54. Maitra, she who is verse. 55. Mudramitasita, she whose positions of her limbs are extremely elegant. 56. Brahmi, she who is creative energy. 57. Narayani, she who is the exposer of consciousness. 58. Bhadra, she who is excellent. 59. Subhadra, she who is the excellent of excellence. 60. Bhaktavatsala, she who nourishes all devotees. 61. Mahesvarisiya, she who is the great seer of all. 62. Kamunda, she who moves in the paradigm of consciousness. 63. Varahi, she who is the boar of sacrifice. 64. Narasamika, she who is the ferocious half-human half-lion of courage. 65. Vajranjai, she who has limbs of lightning. 66. Vajrakankali, she whose head shines like lightning. 67. Nramundasragvini, she who is adorned by a garland. 68. Siva, she who is the energy of the consciousness of infinite goodness. 69. Malini, she who wears a garland of skulls. 70. Niramundali, she who holds the head of a man. 71. Galetra Dirabhusana, from the garland of skulls around her neck fall drops of blood. 72. Ratke Kandana Siktanjai, she whose limbs are covered by red. 73. Sinduranamastekar, she whose forehead is marked with the vermilion of love which brings the light of wisdom. 74. Garurupa, she who is of fearful form. 75. Garudanstra, she whose teeth are fearful. 76. Garagaratara, she who is auspicious which takes beyond inauspiciousness. 77. Sabha, she who is pure. 78. Mahadanstra, she who has great teeth. 79. Mahamaya, she who is the great definition of consciousness. 80. Sundanti, she who has excellent teeth. 81. Yugadantura, she who is beyond the ages of time. 82. Sulokana, she who has beautiful eyes. 83. Virapaksi, she whose eyes are of indescribably form. 84. Visalaksi, she who has great eyes. 85. Trilokana, she who has 3 eyes. 86. Saradanduprasanasya, she who is pleased as the autumn moon. 87. Svratsmrumbujaksana, she whose purity shines in her lotus eyes. 88. Atahasaprasanasya, she who has great laugh in extreme pleasure. 89. Smiravaktra, she who speaks words of remembrance. 90. Subhasinai, she who has excellent expression. 91. Prasane Padme Vedana, she whose lotus lips smile. 92. Smitasya, she whose face is always happy. 93. Piyabasinai, she who is the beloved expression of love. 94. Kotaraksi, she whose eyes are infinite. 95. Kilasresta, she who is the excellent of excellence or of excellent family. 96. Mahati, she who has a great mind. 97. Bahabasinai, she who has various expressions. 98. Sumati, she who has an excellent mind. 99. Kumati, she who has a devious mind. 100. Kanda, she who has passion. 101. Kandamundativajini, she who destroys passion, meanness and other negativities. 102. Prakanda Kandika, she who is great terrible passion. 103. Kandi, she who tears apart thoughts. 104. Kandika, she who is the cause of tearing apart all thought. 105. Kandavajani, she who destroys all passion. 106. Sukisi, she who has beautiful hair. 107. Muktaki Cca, she who had unbound hair. 108. Dahaksai, she who has long hair. 109. Mahakuka, she who has large breasts. 110. Pratadhakanapura, she who has the ears of the cosmic body. 111. Pratapanisumakala, she who has the hands and waist of the cosmic body. 112. Pritasana, she who sits with disembodied spirits. 113. Priyaprita, she who is the beloved of disembodied spirits. 114. Prataphumicatalaya, she who is the land where disembodied spirits reside. 115. Smasanavasani, she who resides in the cremation grounds. 116. Punya, she who is merit. 117. Punyada, she who is the giver of merit. 118. Kilapandita, she who is the one of excellent knowledge. 119. Punyalaya, she who is the residency of merit. 120. Punyatha, she who embodies merit. 121. Punyasloka ca, she who every utterance is merit. 122. Pavinai, she who blows like a fresh breeze. 123. Puta, she who is the daughter. 124. Pavitra, she who is pure. 125. Parama, she who is supreme. 126. Purapunyavibhusena, she who illuminated the fullest merit. 127. Punyanami, she whose name is meritorious. 128. Hitahara, she who takes away fear and doubt. 129. Varada, she who is the granter of boons. 130. Kangapalinai, she who has the sword of wisdom in her hand. 131. Nramandahastasasta ca, she who holds the skull of impure thought. 132. Chinnamasta, she who holds the severed head of duality. 133. Sunazika, she who has an excellent organ of scent. 134. Daksina, she who looks to the south, she who is the offering made in respect for guidance. 135. Syamala, she who has a dark complexion. 136. Syama, she who is dark. 137. Santa, she who is peace. 138. Pinanatastani, she who raises the trident in her hands. 139. Digambara, she who wears space. 140. Garirava, she whose sound in terrible. 141. Srikanta, she whose beauty creates. 142. Raktavayini, she who is the vehicle of passion. 143. Garirava, she whose sound is terrible. 144. Sivasamjai, she who is with Siva. 145. Visamjai, she who is without any other. 146. Madanachura, she who is the ultimate intoxication. 147. Mata, she who is the great mind or thinker. 148. Pramata, she who is the foremost mind or thinker. 149. Pramada, she who is the giver of preeminence. 150. Sudasindunivasani, she who resides in the ocean of purity. 151. Atamata, she who is extremely great mind. 152. Mahamata, she who is the great mind. 153. Sarvakasanakarinai, she who is the cause of all attraction. 154. Chitapraya, she who is the beloved of songs. 155. Vaidyaratha, she who is extremely pleased by music. 156. Pritantyaparana, she who is the eternal dance of disembodied spirits. 157. Katurbhuja, she who has 4 arms. 158. Dasabhuja, she who has 10 arms. 159. Astadasabhuja Tatha, she who has 18 arms also. 160. Katyarani, she who is ever pure. 161. Jaganmata, she who is the mother of the perceivable universe. 162. Jagatamparamsvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the perceivable universe. 163. Jagodhandya, she who is the friend of the perceivable universe. 164. Jagodatri, she who creates the perceivable universe. 165. Jagadanandakarani, she who is the cause of bliss in the perceivable universe. 166. Jagajjavamayi, she who is the manifestation of all life in the universe. 167. Hemavati, she who is born of Himalayas. 168. Maya, she who is the great measurement of consciousness. 169. Mahamahai, she who is the great expression. 170. Nigayajno Pavitanji, she who is the sacred thread on the body of the snake, the adornment of Kundalini. 171. Nijini, she who is the snake. 172. Nagasayani, she who rests on snakes. 173. Nagakanya, she who is the daughter of the snake. 174. Devakanya, she who is the daughter of the gods. 175. Gandharvi, she who sings celestial divine tunes. 176. Kinnarisvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of heavenly beings. 177. Moharatri, she who is the night of ignorance. 178. Maharatri, she who is the great nights. 179. Dharana, she who supports all. 180. Basvarajari, she whose radiancy destroys duality. 181. Vidadhari, she who grants great knowledge. 182. Vajumati, she who has wealth. 183. Yaksinai, she who gives wealth. 184. Yojini, she who is always in union. 185. Jara, she who is old. 186. Raksasi, she who is the mother of all demons. 187. Dakini, she who is the female demonic being. 188. Vedamayi, she who is the expression of wisdom. 189. Vedavibhusana, she who illuminated wisdom. 190. Sruti, she who is that which has been heard. 191. Smriti, she who is that which is remembered. 192. Mahavidya, she who is great knowledge. 193. Guhyavidya, she who is hidden knowledge. 194. Puratani, she who is the oldest. 195. Sintya, she who is thought. 196. Asintya, she who is unthinkable. 197. Svada, she who is oblations of ancestral praise. 198. Sveha, she who is oblations of I am one with God. 199. Nidra, she who is sleep. 200. Tandrasiya, she who is partially awake. 201. Parvati, she who is the daughter of the mountain. 202. Aparna, she who is without parts. 203. Niskala, she who cannot be divided. 204. Lola, she who has a protruding tongue. 205. Sarvadadya, she who is all knowledge. 206. Tapasvini, she who is the performer of purifying austeritites. 207. Ganga, she who is the holy river. 208. Kasi, she who is the Benaras. 209. Sasai, she who is the wife of Indra. 210. Sita, she who is the wife of Rama. 211. Sati, she who is the wife of Siva. 212. Satyaparayana, she who always moves in truth. 213. Niti, she who is systematized knowledge or method. 214. Suniti, she who is excellent systematized knowledge. 215. Sarusi, she who is excellent taste. 216, Tusti, she who is satisfaction. 217, Pusti, she who is nourishment. 218, Dirty, she who is consistent solidity. 219, Ksama, she who is forgiveness. 220, Vani, she who is words. 221, Buddhi, she who is intelligence. 222, Mahalakshmi, she who is the great goal of existence. 223, Lakshmi, she who is the goal. 224, Nilasarasvati, she who is the blue goddess of knowledge. 225, Srotasvati, she who is the spirit of all sounds. 226, Sarasvati, she who is the personification of one's own ocean of existence. 227, Matamjai, she who is the mother of all bodies. 228, Vijaya, she who is conquest. 229, Jaya, she who is victory. 230, Nadi Sindhya, she who is rivers and oceans. 231, Sarvamai, she who is the expressions of all. 232, Tara, she who is the illuminator. 233, Sunyani, she who resides in silence. 234, Sudha, she who is purity. 235, Taranjani, she who makes waves. 236, Medha, she who is the intellect of love. 237, Lakini, she who is manifest energies. 238, Pararupini, she who has many forms. 239, Sthula, she who is the gross body. 240, Suksma, she who is subtle. 241, Suksmatara, she who is the subtle wave. 242, Bhagavati, she who is the female ruler of all. 243, Anurajini, she who is the feeling of emotions. 244, Paramananda Rupasiya, she who is the form of supreme bliss. 245, Siddhanandasvarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the bliss of consciousness. 246, Sarvanandamayi, she who is the expression of all bliss. 247, Nitya, she who is eternal. 248, Sarvanandasvarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of all bliss. 249, Subhada, she who is giver of purity. 250, Nandini, she who is blissful. 251, Stutya, she who is praise. 252, Stavani Asvabhavani, she who is the intrinsic nature of songs of prayers. 253, Ramkini, she who manifests subtlety. 254, Bamkini, she who is ferocious. 255, Citra, she who is artistic. 256, Vicitra, she who has various artistic capacities. 257, Citrarupini, she who is the form of all art. 258, Padma, she who is the lotus. 259, Padmalaya, she who resides in a lotus. 260, Padamukhi, she who has lotus mouth. 261, Padmavibhusena, she who shines like a lotus. 262, Hakini, she is the energy of the divine eye. 263, Sakini, she who is the energy of peace. 264, Santa, she who is peace. 265, Rakini, she who is the energy of subtlety. 266, Rudirapriya, she who is the beloved. 267, Bhranti, she who is confusion. 268, Bhavani, she who is manifested existence. 269, Rudrani, she who is the energy that removes sufferings. 270, Mdani, she who is the rhythm of life. 271, Satrumardani, she who is the destroyer of all enmity. 272, Upendrani, she who is the highest energy of the ruler of the pure. 273, Mahendrani, she who is the great energy of the ruler of the pure. 274, Jyotsna, she who radiates light. 275, Chandrasvarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the moon of devotions. 276, Suryamika, she who is the soul of the light of wisdom. 277, Rudrapatni, she who is the wife of Rudra, the reliever of sufferings. 278, Raudri, she who is fierce. 279, Stri Prakriti, she who is the woman of nature or the nature of women. 280, Puman, she who is masculine. 281, Sakti, she who is energy. 282, Sakti, she who is happiness. 283, Mati, she who is the mind. 284, Mata, she who is the mother. 285, Bhakti, she who is enjoyment. 286, Mukti, she who is liberation. 287, Pativrata, she who observes the vows of devotion to her husband. 288, Sarvasvari, she who is the supreme ruler of all. 289, Sarvamata, she who is mother of all. 290, Sarvani, she who dwells in all. 291, Haravalabha, she who is Siva's strength. 292, Sarvajna, she who is knower of all. 293, Siddhida, she who is giver of the attainment of perfection. 294, Siddha, she who has attained perfection. 295, Bhavya, she who is existence. 296, Bhavya, she who is all attitudes. 297, Bhayapaha, she who is beyond all fear. 298, Khatri, she who creates. 299, Hatri, she who transforms or destroys. 300, Palayatri, she who protects. 301, Saverai, she who gives rest. 302, Tamasi, she who manifests darkness. 303, Daya, she who is compassionate. 304, Tamisra, she who mixes or mingles. 305, Tamasi, she who manifests darkness. 306, Sthana, she who is established. 307, Sthira, she who is still. 308, Dhira, she who is stationary. 309, Tapasvini, she who performs austerities. 310, Karvangi, she whose body is in motion. 311, Kankala, she who is restless. 312, Lolajiva, she who has a protruding tongue. 313, Karukharitrini, she whose character is to heal. 314, Trapa, she who saves from fear. 315, Trapavati, she whose spirit saves from fear. 316, Larja, she who is modesty. 317, Vilajja, she who is without modesty. 318, Ri, she who is humble. 319, Rajovati, she who is the repository of Rajas Guna. 320, Sarasvati, she who is the personification of one's own ocean. 321, Dharmanistha, she who is the strict observances of the ideals of perfection. 322, Srestha, she who is ultimate. 323, Nisthuranardini, she whose vibration is extremely subtle. 324, Garistha, she who is always happy to see her devotees. 325, Dusta Samhatri, she who dissolves all evil. 326, Visista, she who is especially beloved. 327, Sriyasi, she who is the ultimate. 328, Gurna, she who is hatred. 329, Bhima, she who is terribly fierce. 330, Bhayanaka, she who is extremely fearful. 331, Bhimanardini, she who has a fierce roar. 332, Bhi, she who is fierce. 333, Prabhavati, she who is the spirit of illumination. 334, Vajisvari, she who is the supreme ruler of all vibrations. 335, Sri, she who is respect. 336, Yamuna, she who manifests complete control. 337, Yajnakatri, she who is the performer of union or sacrifice. 338, Yajapriya, she who is the beloved of union or lover of Yajurveda. 339, Aksamathavanilaya, she who resides in the three Vedas. 340, Rajani, she who is all rhythm. 341, Soebanasvara, she who is the supreme ruler of illumination. 342, Kalikanthai, she who has a dark throat. 343, Kambukanthai, she whose neck has lines like a conch shell. 344, Venu Vinaparana, she who is always playing the Veena instruments. 345, Vamsinai, she for whom all is family. 346, Vaisnavi, she who pervades the universe. 347, Svaka, she who desires herself. 348, Daritri, she who holds the three. 349, Jagadisvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the perceivable universe. 350, Madhumati, she who is the nectar of honey. 351, Kundalini, she who is the manifestation of individual energy. 352, Adi, she who is prosperity. 353, Siddhi, she who is the attainment of perfection. 354, Susismita, she who is the remembrance of the pure. 355, Ramhorvasi, she who is the Apsaras Rama and Urvasi. 356, Rati Rama, she who is extremely beautiful. 357, Rahini, she who is the luminous light of the heavens. 358, Sankhini, she who holds a conch shell. 359, Magga, she who is infinite wealth. 360, Revati, she who is abundance. 361, Kakrini, she who holds a discus. 362, Kasna, she who is dark, she who is the performer of all actions. 363, Gadini, she who holds a club. 364, Padmini Tatha, she who is a lotus then. 365, Sulini, she who holds a spear. 366, Parihastrasiye, she who holds the weapon of good actions. 367, Pasni, she who holds the net. 368, Samgapaninai, she who holds the bow named Samga in her hands. 369, Pinakajirinai, she who holds the spear. 370, Dumra, she who obscures perceptions. 371, Sarabhai, she whose strength is greater than lions or elephants. 372, Vanamalinai, she who is the gardener of the forest. 373, Rathini, she who conveys all. 374, Samaraprita, she who loves the battle. 375, Vejani, she who is swift. 376, Ranapadita, she who is expert in war. 377, Jatani, she who has dishevelled hair. 378, Vajraini, she who holds the thunderbolt or lightning. 379, Lila, she who is the divine drama. 380, Eyavinyambudhai Kandrika, she whose beauty radiated the light of knowledge. 381, Balapriya, she who is the beloved of sacrifice. 382, Sadapujya, she who is worthy of worship. 383, Purna, she who is full, complete, perfect. 384, Dayatyendramadini, she who is welcomed by the leader of all asuras. 385, Mahisasurasamhatri, she who is destroyer of the great ruler of duality. 386, Kamini, she who is all desires. 387, Raktadantika, she who has red teeth. 388, Raktapa, she who protects passion. 389, Rudiraktanjai, she whose body is covered with passion. 390, Raktakarparahastinai, she who bears a cup of passion in her hands. 391, Raktapriya, she whose loves, or is the beloved of passion. 392, Mamsarusarozavazaktamanasa, she who delights in eating meat and drinking intoxicating spirits. 393, Galakchanita Mandali, she who wears a garland of heads dripping blood. 394, Kanthamalabhibhusana, she who wears a garland upon her neck. 395, Savasana, she who sits upon a corpse. 396, Saitantartha, she who is established in the ultimate consciousness. 397, Mayasi, she who is the greatest seer of all. 398, Vsavayini, she who rides upon the bull of determination. 399, Vyatvagambara, she who wears a garment of tiger skin. 400, Sinekalini, she who moves with the speed of a deer. 401, Simhavayini, she who rides upon a lion. 402, Vamadavi, she who is the beloved goddess. 403, Mahadavi, she who is a great goddess. 404, Gaurai, she who is rays of light. 405, Sarvajnabhamini, she who illuminates all wisdom. 406, Balika, she who is a young girl. 407, Taruni, she who is a middle-aged lady. 408, Vda, she who is an old lady. 409, Vdamata, she who is the mother of the aged. 410, Churachura, she who is beyond age. 411, Subra, she who has an excellent forehead. 412, Vilasini, she who resides within herself. 413, Brahmavadini, she who is the vibration of supreme deity. 414, Brahmani, she who creates divinity. 415, Mahi, she who is earth. 416, Svapnavati, she who is the spirit of dreams. 417, Citralakha, she who is various writings. 418, Lopamudra, she who is the manifestation of the which is beyond manifested existence. 419, Shurisvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of all divinity. 420, Amoga, she who is always rewarding. 421, Aradati, she who is the purity of devotion, epitome of commitment. 422, Tiksna, she who is sharp. 423, Bhogavati, she who is the spirit of all enjoyment. 424, Anurajini, she who is the spirits of all feelings. 425, Mandakini, she who organizes the mind to optimum efficiency. 426, Mandahasa, she whose mind always laughs. 427, Jvalamukhi, she whose face radiates. 428, Asurantaka, she who is the cause of the end of the forces of duality. 429, Manada, she who is the giver of discipline. 430, Manini, she who creates discipline. 431, Mania, she who is discipline. 432, Manania, she who is the supreme lord of discipline. 433, Madhachura, she who is completely intoxicated. 434, Madhura Meduran Mada, she who is intoxicated with divine spirit. 435, Midoye, she who is born of intellect. 436, Sadoye, she who is the performer of all discipline. 437, Praisadini, she who is the praisader or consecration of offerings. 438, Sumadoyanantagunini, she who resides in the middle of infinite excellent qualities. 439, Sarvalakottamotama, all the beings of all the worlds consider her to be greater than the greatest. 440, Jayada, she who is the giver of victory. 441, Chitvara, she who grants the boon of victory. 442, Jetri, she who is victorious over the three. 443, Jayasri, she who is victorious with respect. 444, Jayasalini, she who is the repository of victory. 445, Subhada, she who is the giver of purity. 446, Sakada, she who is the giver of happiness or comfort. 447, Satya, she who is the manifestation of truth. 448, Sabazamksavakarini, she who is the cause of purity for the entire community. 449, Sivajati, she for whom Siva is the ambassador. 450, Bhutimati, she who is the expression of all manifested existence. 451, Vibhuta, she who is the expression of the expressionless deity. 452, Kaisananana, she whose face is free from fear. 453, Kaumrai, she who is the manifestation of the ever-pure one. 454, Kilaja, she who is the giver of birth to the family. 455, Kunti, she who takes away the deficiency of others. 456, Kilastri, she who is the woman of the family. 457, Kulapalika, she who is the protector of the family. 458, Kirti, she who is fame. 459, Yasavini, she who is welfare. 460, Husa, she who is the peace of all beings. 461, Phastha, she who is the cause of peace to all beings. 462, Bhutapatipraya, she who is loved by the Lord of all disembodied spirits. 463, Saguna, she who is with qualities. 464, Naguna, she who is without qualities. 465, Tusna, she who is all thirst. 466, Nistha, she who obeys all the rules. 467, Kastha, she who is the cause of desire. 468, Pratisthita, she who establishes. 469, Danistha, she who is the beloved wealth. 470, Danada, she who is the giver of wealth. 471, Danya, she who is wealthy. 472, Vajuda, she who supports the earth. 473, Suprakasini, she who is excellent illumination. 474, Urvi, she who is the supreme lord of circumstances. 475, Gurvi, she who is the supreme lord of gurus. 476, Guru Srestha, she who is the ultimate guru. 477, Saguna, she who is with qualities of truth. 478, Trigunatmika, she who is the manifestation of the soul of the three qualities. 479, Rajnamajna, she who is the wisdom of the order of the king. 480, Mahaprajna, she who is the great ultimate wisdom. 481, Saguna, she who is with qualities. 482, Nagunatmika, she who is the manifestation of the soul of the three qualities. 483, Mahakulina, she who is the mother of all the great family. 484, Niskama, she who is without desire. 485, Sakama, she who is with desire. 486, Kamajivani, she who is the life of desire. 487, Kamadavakala, she who is the attributes of the Lord of Desire. 488, Ramapirama, she who is the energy of perfection in the subtle body. 489, Sivanataki, she who dances with Siva. 490, Sintamani, she who is the jewel of all thought. 491, Kalpalata, she who clings to thought. 492, Jagratai, she who wakes up the universe. 493, Dhanavatsala, she who is the refuge of the downtrodden. 494, Kartiki, she who is the expression of all that is done. 495, Katika, she who is the doer or the cause of all doing. 496, Katya, she who is that which is done. 497, Eodhai Avizamazama, she who is the same as the place where there is no war. 498, Sumantra, she who is the excellent mantra which takes away the mind. 499, Mantrini, she who is the energy of all mantras. 500, Purna, she who is perfect. 501, Ladini, she who is always happy. 502, Klesanasini, she who is the destroyer of all imperfections. 503, Trailokyajanani, she who is the mother of all the three worlds. 504, Jaistha, she who is oldest. 505, Mamamsa Mantrarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of Vedic knowledge. 506, Tadaganimnajathara, she who is the fire of all digestion. 507, Suskamamsastimalini, she who wears a garland of dried limbs. 508, Avanti Mathura Udaya, she who is the heart of Mathura and Avada. 509. Trailokya Pavanaksama, she who brings the winds of forgiveness to the three worlds. 510. Vyaktaviktatmika Murti, she who is the image of the manifest and unmanifested soul. 511. Sarabhai Pimanadinai, she whose sound is extremely loud. 512. Ksmankari, she who is the welfare of all. 513. Sankari Ca, she who is the cause of peace. 514. Sarvasamohakarinai, she who is ignorance of all. 515. Urdvaitjasvini, she who is the rising light of all. 516. Klina, she whose heart is very soft. 517. Mahitejasvini Tatha, she who is the great light. 518. Advaita Bhojani, she who enjoys non-duality. 519. Pujya, she who is worthy of worship. 520. Yuvati, she who is young. 521. Sarvamangala, she who is all welfare. 522. Sarvapriyankari, she who is the cause of all love. 523. Bhogya, she who is enjoyed. 524. Dharani, she who supports all. 525. Paisatasana, she who sights upon a deer. 526. Bhyamkari, she who is fearful. 527. Papahara, she who takes away all sins. 528. Niskalamka, she who is without fault. 529. Vaisamkari, she who controls. 530. Asa, she who is hope. 531. Tisna, she who is thirst. 532. Kandrakala, she who is the digit of the moon, attribute of devotion. 533. Indrani, she who is the energy of the ruler of the pure. 534. Vayuvijani, she who moves with the freedom of emancipation. 535. Sahasrajuriya Samkasa, she whose illumination is like 1,000 suns. 536. Kandrakotisamaprabha, she whose illumination is like 10 million moons. 537. Nisyambasamasamhantri, she who dissolves self-deprecation and self-conceit. 538. Raktabhavinasini, she who is the destroyer of the seed of desire. 539. Madhukaitapahantri Ca, she who dissolves too much and too little. 540. Mahisasuratini, she who is the destroyer of the great ego. 541. Vanamandalamudhyastha, she who is situated in the middle of the circle of fire. 542. Sarvasatvapratisthita, she who established all truth. 543. Sarvakaravati, she who is the spirit of all that does not move. 544. Sarvadavakanyadhidavata, she who is the supreme goddess of all divine females. 545. Daksakanya, she who is the daughter of ability. 546. Daksayajnanasini, she who is the destroyer of the sacrifice of ability. 547. Durgatrini, she who is the reliever of difficulties, who takes us across the ocean of objects and relationships. 548. Ijya, she who is desired. 549. Pujya, she who is worthy of worship. 550. Satkirti, she who is true fame. 551. Brahmarupini, she who has the capacity of form of supreme divinity. 552. Vibhurbhuta, she who manifests the greatest fears. 553, Ramhota, she who is the beautiful one residing in the Theights. 554, Kacharakara, she who manifests the four of creation. 555, Jayanti, she who is victory. 556, Karayuna, she who is compassionate. 557, Kuha, she who is the new moon. 558, Manasvini, she who reflects mind. 559, Devamata, she who is mother of gods. 560, Yasasia, she who is worthy of welfare. 561, Brahmakarini, she who moves in the supreme consciousness. 562, Siddhida, she who is the giver of perfection. 563, Vdida, she who is the giver of change or modification. 564, Vdi, she who is change or modification. 565, Sarvadya, she who is foremost of all, she who is before all. 566, Sarvadayini, she who is the giver of all. 567, Agadharupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of that which does not end. 568, Jya, she who is meditated upon. 569, Muladharani Vasani, she who resides in the Muladhara Chakra. 570, Ajna, she who orders creation. 571, Prajna, she who is primordial wisdom. 572, Purnamana, she who is full and complete. 573, Kandramukhayanukulini, she who is the complete collection of the face of the moon. 574, Vaivadyuka, she who charms everyone with her speech. 575, Nimnanabhi, she whose navel is indented. 576, Satyasanda, she who has found turf. 577, Davrata, she who is determined in her vow. 578, Anvisaki, she who embodies all spiritual knowledge. 579, Dandainti, she who is the punishment by which discipline is prescribed. 580, Trayai, she who is three. 581, Trideva Sundari, she who is the beauty of the three divinities. 582, Jvalini, she who burns. 583, Jvalini, she who causes to burn. 584, Salataniya, she who is the daughter of the mountain. 585, Vindhyavasini, she who resides in mountains of knowledge that breed humility. 586, Pratyaya, she who sees all concepts. 587, Kikari, she whose spirit soars. 588, Darya, she who is determination. 589, Turiya, she who is beyond. 590, Vimalachura, she who is the highest expression of purity. 591, Pragalbha, she who is confident. 592, Varunikaya, she who is the reflection of the cause of equilibrium. 593, Sasani, she who is the radiance of the moon. 594, Visphulingini, she who has subtle radiance. 595, Bhakti, she who is devotion. 596, Siddhi, she who is perfection. 597, Sadakriti, she who is always beloved. 598, Prakamya, she who is the foremost of all desires. 599, Mahamanama, she who is the mother who is the jewel of the earth. 600, Ikasiddhi, she who is the perfection of all desires. 601, Vasattva, she who is the supreme controller. 602, Isatvardvani Vasani, she who resides above all that is desired. 603, Lagima, she who is extremely small. 604, Gayatri, she who is the wisdom of the three. 605, Savitri, she who is the illuminator of the three. 606, Bhuvanesvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of manifested existence. 607, Manohara, she who takes away thoughts. 608, Sita, she who is consciousness. 609, Divya, she who is divine. 610, Devayudara, she who holds aloft all goddesses. 611, Manorama, she who exemplifies beauty of the mind. 612, Pingala, she who is a subtle avenue by which energy flows. 613, Kapila, she who is like a cow, a giver of pure nourishment. 614, Chivarasajna, she who has the nectar of wisdom on her tongue. 615, Rasika, she who is all nectar. 616, Rama, she who is beauty. 617, Susumdeo Gavati, she who is the spirit of union within the Susumna. 618, Gandhari, she who wears an excellent scent. 619, Nirakantaka, she who is the end of all hell. 620, Pankali, she who belongs to the five. 621, Rukmini, she who is the jewel of all circumstances. 622, Radha, she who is the beloved of Krishna. 623, Radoye, she who causes consciousness in the subtle body. 624, Bhama, she who is the mother of illumination. 625, Radhika, she who is the beloved of Krishna, she who is the cause of illumination of consciousness in the subtle body. 626, Amta, she who is the nectar of immortality. 627, Tulasi, she who is the basil plant. 628, Vanda, she who is the giver of changes. 629, Kaitabhai, she who constricts. 630, Kapatsvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of all fraudulent beings. 631, Agrakandisvarai, she who is the ruler of fearful passion. 632, Virahanani, she who is the mother of all heroes and warriors. 633, Virajandrai, she who is the beautiful of all warriors. 634, Agratara, she whose illumination is fearful. 635, Yasodakhaya, she who is the light in the eyes of Yasoda. 636, Devaki, she who is the mother of Krishna, she who caused divinity to manifest. 637, Devamanita, she who is obeyed by the gods. 638, Niranjana Sight, she who is formless consciousness. 639, Devi, she who is the goddess. 640, Krodini, she who is angry. 641, Kuladipika, she who is the light of excellence. 642, Kulavijisvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of vibrations of excellence. 643, Jvala, she who radiates. 644, Metaka, she who is the mother in the form of letters. 645, Dravani, she who manifests what you value. 646, Drava, she who is what you value. 647, Yogeshvari, she who is the supreme ruler of union. 648, Mahamari, she who is the great destroyer. 649, Brahmari, she who comes in the form of a bee. 650, Bindurupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the form of knowledge. 651, Duty, she who is ambassador. 652, Pranisvari, she who is the supreme ruler of life. 653, Gupta, she who is hidden. 654, Bahula, she who is everywhere. 655, Damari, she who plays the Damaru drum. 656, Prabha, she who is radiant light. 657, Kubjika, she who is hunchbacked or crippled. 658, Jnanini, she who manifests wisdom. 659, Jaistha, she who is oldest. 660, Pujundi, she who holds the sling. 661, Prakatakati, she who manifests without doing. 662, Dravini, she who manifests wealth. 663, Gopini, she who is secretive. 664, Maya, she who is the supreme measurement of consciousness. 665, Kamabijesvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the seed of desire. 666, Priya, she who is the beloved. 667, Sakamari, she who nourishes with vegetables. 668, Kukanada, she who engenders the seed. 669, Susila, she who is consistently excellent. 670, Tilatama, she who is excellently pure. 671, Amyavikramakruya, she who manifests unsurpassed grace. 672, Sampakchilativikrama, she who is spinning in the attachment for the lost of wealth. 673, Svastihavivaha, she who is the conveyance for the offerings of blessings. 674, Priti, she who is the beloved. 675, Asma, she who is the mother of circumstances. 676, Dumrasayarangada, she who makes the body free from sin. 677, Tapini, she who is heat and light. 678, Tapini, she who is the cause of heat and light. 679, Visva, she who is the universe. 680, Pogada, she who is the giver of enjoyment. 681, Pogadharini, she who is the supporter of enjoyment. 682, Trikhanda, she who has three parts. 683, Bodhini, she who manifests wisdom. 684, Vaishya, she who is controlled. 685, Sakala, she who is all. 686, Visvarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the universe. 687, Bijarupa, she who is the form of the seed. 688, Mahamudra, she who is the great configuration of the cosmos. 689, Vasani, she who controls. 690, Yogarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of union. 691, Anangakazuma, she whois the flower of infinity. 692, Anangamakula, she who wears the girdle of infinity. 693, Anangarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of infinity. 694, Anangamadana, she who is the intoxication of infinity. 695, Anangarika, she who is the limit of infinity. 696, Anangankasesvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of the god of infinity. 697, Anangamalinai, she who is the gardener who cultivated infinity. 698, Kamesvari, she who is the supreme ruler of all desires. 699, Sarvathasadhika, she who performs discipline for all objectives. 700, Sarvatamtramayai, she who is the expression of all applications of spiritual knowledge. 701, Modanyaranainangarupinai, she who is the intrinsic nature of the intoxicating light of infinite love. 702, Vajresvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of lightning. 703, Janani, she who is mother. 704, Sarvadukaksyamkari, she who dissolves all pain into the infinite. 705, Sadangayuvati, she who is a young lady with 6 limbs. 706, Yogakta, she who is united in union. 707, Jvalamsumalinai, she who is the cultivator of radiance. 708, Durasaya, she who resides in the distance. 709, Duradursa, she who is a difficult ideal to attain. 710, Durjanya, she who gives knowledge that is difficult to attain. 711, Durgarupinai, she who is the intrinsic nature of the reliever of difficulties. 712, Duranta, she who is the end of distance. 713, Duskatahara, she who takes away evil action. 714, Durjya, she who is knowledge that is difficult to attain. 715, Durati Krama, she who is the mother of all difficult action. 716, Hamsesvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of laughter. 717, Trikonastha, she who resides in a triangle. 718, Sakamaryanukampini, she who is the feeling of nourishment from vegetables and produce of the earth. 719, Trijonamilaya, she who resides beyond the triangle. 720, Natya, she who is eternal. 721, Paramamtaramjata, she who is the enjoyment of the supreme nectar of immortality. 722, Mahavadhyesvarai, she who is the supreme ruler of the great knowledge. 723, Sveta, she who is white or pure. 724, Pirunda, she who is formidable. 725, Kulasundrai, she who is the beauty of excellence. 726, Varata, she who is quick. 727, Bhaktisamyukta, she who is completely united in devotion. 728, Bhattavasya, she who is under the control of devotion. 729, Santani, she who is eternal. 730, Bhaktanandamayi, she who is the manifestation of the bliss of devotion. 731, Bhaktabhavata, she who is the attitude of devotion. 732, Bhaktasankari, she who is the cause of the peace of devotion. 733, Sarvasundariya Nilaya, she who is the repository of all beauty. 734, Sarvasorbhajya Salinai, she who is the repository of all good fortune. 735, Sarvasamhogabhavani, she who is the mother of all enjoyment. 736, Sarvasokhaya Nirupinai, she who is the intrinic nature of the feeling of all comforts. 737, Kumaripujanarata, she who enjoys the worship of the ever-pure one. 738, Kumrivratakarani, she who continues the performance of the vow of worship for the ever-pure One. 739, Kumrai, she who is the ever-pure One. 740, Bhaktisukhinie, she who gives the pleasure of devotion. 741, Kumrayarapadharini, she who wears the form of the every-pure One. 742, Kumaripujakaprita, she who loves the worship of the every-pure One. 743, Kumaripritaidapriya, she who is the beloved of the ever-pure One. 744, Kumarisvakasamga, she who is united in the service of the ever-pure One. 745, Kumarisvakalaya, she who resides within those who serve the ever-pure One. 746, Anandabhairavi, she who is the bliss beyond all fear. 747, Balabhairavi, she who is the strength beyond all fear. 748, Baitabhairavi, she who is youth beyond all fear. 749, Smasanabhairavi, she who is in the cremation ground where all fears ends. 750, Kalabhairavi, she who is time beyond all fear. 751, Purabhairavi, she who is in the cremation ground where all fear ends. 752, Mahabhairavapatni, she who is the spouse of the Great One beyond all fears. 753, Paramanandabhairavi, she who is the supreme bliss beyond. 754, Suranandabhairavi, she who is divine bliss beyond all fear. 755, Anmatanandabhairavi, she who is bliss beyond all fear. 756, Muktanandabhairavi, she who is the bliss of liberation beyond all fear. 757, Taranabhairavi, she who is the energy that pools beyond fear. 758, Jnananandabhairavi, she who is the bliss of wisdom beyond all fear. 759, Antanandabhairavi, she who is the nectar of immortality beyond all fear. 760, Mahabhayamkari, she who is greatly fearful. 761, Tivra, she who is very swift. 762, Tivravaga, she who moves very swiftly. 763, Tarasvini, she who takes a cross. 764, Tripura, she who is the resident of the three cities. 765, Paramsani, she who is the supreme ruler of all. 766, Sundari, she who is the beautiful one. 767, Purajundari, she who is completely beautiful. 768, Tripurasvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the three cities. 769, Pankadasi, she who is the 15-lettered one. 770, Pankami, she who is the fifth. 771, Puravasini, she who is the resident of the city. 772, Mahasaptadasi, she who is the great 17. 773, Sodasi, she who is the 16. 774, Tripurasvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the three cities. 775, Mahamkusasvarupa, she who is the intrinsic nature of the great God. 776, Mahakakasvaritatha, she who is the supreme ruler of the great centers of energy. 777, Navakakasvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the 9 centers. 778, Kakasvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the centers of the energy. 779, Tripuramalini, she who is the gardener of the 3 cities. 780, Rajakakasvari, she who is the supreme ruler of the kings of all centers of energy. 781, Vira, she who is the female hero. 782, Mahetripurajandri, she who is the great beautiful one of the three cities. 783, Sindhurapurarusara, she who is completely delighted with the red spot of vermilion. 784, Srimatripurajandri, she who is the respected beautiful one of the three cities. 785, Savangajandri, she whose all limbs are beautiful. 786, Rakta, she who is passion. 787, Raktavastrotaryaka, she who is clothed in red garment. 788, Yava, she who is passion. 789, Yavakasinduraraktakandanadharanai, she who wears vermilion and red sandal paste. 790, Yavayavakasinduraraktakandanarupadauk, she whose youthful countenance is constantly adorned with red vermilion and red sandal paste. 791, Kumari, she who is inconstant. 792, Vakakutilaniaramalaisyamekisani, she who is spoken of as one who has pure dark wavy hair. 793, Vajramokhtikaratnadyakiritamukutājvala, she in whose crown the pearls and jewels are shining like lightning. 794, Ratnakundalasamiuktas Fragandamanarama, she who disseminates a beautiful scent is wearing a necklace of radiantly shining jewels which are united together. 795, Kunjarisvarakam Hotamuktaranjatanasika, she who wears an extremely beautiful nose ring which is made from the Supreme Lord of all jewels and pearls. 796, Muktavidrumamanikyaharadhyastanamadala, she who wears a necklace of exquisitely beautiful pearls and jewels in the region of her breast. 797, Surakuntendukantadoyaspasamakanthabhusana, she whose throat is shining by the ultimate touch of the sun and the moon. 798, Bijapurasfradbijadantapamktiranatama, she whose 15 excellent teeth are completely shining with Bija mantra. 799, Kamakodandakabhunyabruugaksipravatinai, she whose eye in the middle of her forehead disciplines desire. 800, Matang Akamavaksoha, she whose breasts give nourishment to existence. 801, Iyasako Kanadexana, she who especially loves the red lotus flower. 802, Manajna Saskulikana, she who knows the entire path from the ear to the mind. 803, Hamzagatavidambini, she who is the mother of the swan motion. 804, Padmaragamgadagyotadoskataskaprakasini, she whose lotus-like body is the illuminator of the four Vedas. 805, Nanamana Parisvarikadakonkane Kamkana, she who wears bracelets shining with various gems and jewels. 806, Nigandradantania Mane Valayan Sate Panika, she whose fingers of her hands bear rings of ivory and other gems. 807, Amguri Akasitramji, she who wears rings on various parts of her body. 808, Visitrak Sudrahantika, she who holds an unusually small bell. 809, Patambara Parihana, she who wears shiny silk cloth. 810, Kalamajiraranjini, she who enjoys the tinkling of cymbals to accompany devotional chanting. 811, Karpure Guru Kastura Kumkumadra Valepita, she who wears unguents of camphor, wood apple, and musk mixed with red paste. 812, Visitratnapathivikalpasakhatalastita, she who is situated on the earth covered with various jewels at the foot of the tree of all fulfillment. 813, Ratnadvipasfradratnazimazanani Vasani, she who sits upon a seat of jewels from the purity of the island of jewels. 814, Satkakrabhidanakari, she who pierced the 6 centers of energy. 815. Paramananda Rupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the supreme bliss. 816. Sahasradala Padmantaskandramandalavartini. 817. Brahmarupe Sivakrodhananajakavalasani, she who resides in the form of supreme divinity, in the anger of Siva, and in various forms of pleasure. 818. Haravisnuviran Sindre Grahanayakasvita, she who is served by Siva, Vishnu, Brahma, Indra and the leaders of the planets. 819. Atmayani, she who is the womb of the soul. 820. Brahmayani, she who is the womb of the supreme divinity. 821. Jagadini, she who is the womb of perceivable universe. 822. Eonaja, she who does not take birth from any womb. 823. Bhagarupa, she who is the form of wealth. 824. Bhagasthari, she who resides within wealth. 825. Bhajnibhagodarini, she who upholds wealth and is the wealth. 826. Bhagatmika, she who is the capacity for the support of wealth. 827. Bhagodararupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the manifestation of wealth. 828. Bhagasalini, she who responses in wealth. 829. Lingabhyayini, she who is a progenitor of the subtle body. 830. Lingapriya, she who is the beloved of the subtle body. 831. Linganivasani, she who resided within the subtle body. 832. Lingastha, she who is situated in the subtle body. 833. Lingani, she who is the capacity of the subtle body. 834. Lingarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of the subtle body. 835. Lingasundari, she who is the beautiful one in the subtle body. 836. Lingajita Mahapriti, she who is greatly enamored of the songs of subtlety. 837. Bhagajita Mahajaka, she who derived great pleasure from the wealth of songs. 838. Linganamazadananda, she who always takes delight in the subtle name. 839. Bhaganamazadarati, she who is always inspired by the name which bears wealth. 840. Bhaganamazadananda, she who is always in bliss with the names which bear wealth. 841. Linganamazadarati, she who is always inspired by the names of subtlety. 842. Lingamalakanthabhusa, she at whose throat shines forth the garland of subtlety. 843. Bhagamalavibhusana, she who shines forth with the garland of wealth. 844. Bhagalimgamtaprita, she who is beloved of the subtle nectar of wealth. 845. Bhagalingamtatmika, she who is the capacity of the subtle nectar of wealth to manifest. 846. Bhagalingakanaprita, she who is the beloved of the offering of subtle wealth. 847. Bhagalingasvarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of subtle wealth. 848. Bhagalingasvarupa, she who is the essence of subtle wealth. 849. Bhagalingasukhaveha, she who is the conveyance of the pleasure of subtle wealth. 850. Svayambhukazumaprita, she who is the beloved of the flower which is born of itself. 851. Svayambhukazumasita, she who is the offering of the flower which is born of itself. 852. Svayambhukazumaprana, she who is the life force of the flower which is born itself. 853. Svayambhukazumutthita, she who raises aloft the flower which is born of itself. 854. Svayambhukazumasnata, she who is bathed by the flower which is born of itself. 855. Svayam Hupaspatapita, she who is the offering to ancestors of the flowers which is born of itself. 856. Svayam Hupaspagatita, she who is the refuge of the flower which is born of itself. 857. Svayam Hupushadarinai, she who upholds or supports the flower which is born of itself. 858. Svayam Hupushatilaka, she who wears a tilak made of the flower which is born of itself. 859. Svayam Hupaspavasita, she who offers the flowers which is born of itself. 860. Svayam Hupaspanarata, she who is absorbed in the essence of the flower which is born of itself. 861. Svayam Hukasumagreha, she who is beyond the worlds of the flower which is born of itself. 862. Svayam Hupaspayajnanga, she who offers in sacrifice to her own self the flower which is born of itself. 863. Svayam Hukazumatmika, she who is the capacity of the soul to manifest the flower which is born of itself. 864. Svayam Hupasparasata, she who is the expression of the flower which is born by itself. 865. Svayam Hukazumapriya, she who is the beloved of the flower which is born by itself. 866. Svayam Hukazumadanalala Sunmatamanasa, she whose mind is intoxicated with desire for the flower which is born by itself. 867. Svayam Hukazumanandala Harisnigdadhini, she whose friendly body experience waves of bliss from the flower which is born by itself. 868. Svayam Hukazumadhara, she who supports the flower which is born by itself. 869. Svayam Hukazumakula, she who is the family of the flower which is born by itself. 870. Svayam Hupaspanilaya, she who resides in the flower which is born by itself. 871. Svayam Hupaspavasani, she who sits on the flower which is born by itself. 872. Svayam Hukazumasnigde, she who is the friend of the flower which is born by itself. 873. Svayam Hukazumutsuka, she who is the supreme pleasure of the flower which is born by itself. 874. Svayam Hupasparkarinai, she who is the cause of the flower which is born by itself. 875. Svayam Hupspapalika, she who is the protector of the flower which is born by itself. 876. Svayam Hukazumadhyana, she who is the student or meditator on the flower which is born by itself. 877. Svayam Hukazumaprabha, she who is the radiance of the flower which is born by itself. 878. Svayam Hukazumajnana, she who is the wisdom of the flower which is born by itself. 879. Svayam Hupaspabhojinai, she who is the enjoyer of the flower which is born by itself. 880. Svayam Hukazumananda, she who is the bliss of the flower which is born by itself. 881. Svayam Hupaspavasinai, she who causes the rain of the flower which is born by itself. 882. Svayam Hukazumatsaha, she who is the enthusiasm of the flower which is born by itself. 883. Svayam Hupaspapaspini, she who is the flower of the flower which is born by itself. 884. Svayam Hukazumasamga, she who is always with the flower which is born by itself. 885. Svayam Hupasparupinai, she who is the intrinsic nature of the flower which is born by itself. 886. Svayam Hukazumanmada, she who is the intoxication of the flower which is born by itself. 887. Svayam Hupaspasundari, she who is the beauty of the flower which is born by itself. 888. Svayam Hukazuma Radoye, she who is delighted by the flower which is born by itself. 889, Svayam Hukazuma Bhava, she who gives birth to the flower which is born by itself. 890, Svayam Hukazuma Vigra, she who distinguishes the flower which is born by itself. 891, Svayam Hupaspavanita, she who expresses the flowers which is born by itself. 892, Svayam Hupuke Kaprajna, she who is the supreme wisdom of worship of that which is born by itself. 893, Svayam Huhotaramatika, she who is the mother of the supreme wisdom of sacrificial worship of that which is born by itself. 894, Svayam Hudatraksatri, she who protects the bestower of that which is born by itself. 895, Svayam Hubhaktapavika, she who intuitively understands the attitude of devotion of that which is born by itself. 896, Svayam Hukazuma Prajna, she who is the wisdom of the flower which is born by itself. 897, Svayam Hupujakapraya, she who is the beloved of the worship of that which is born by itself. 898, Svayam Huvandakadira, she who supports the cause of worship of that which is born by itself. 899, Svayam Hunindakanteka, she who is the cause of the end of that which is born by itself. 900, Svayam Hapradasavasva, she who is the bestower of all the which is born by itself. 901, Svayam Hunindakanteka, she who is the intrinsic nature of the bestower of that which is born by itself. 902, Svayam Hapradasasmara, she who is the remembrance of the bestower of that which is born of itself. 903, Svayam Ardasarayarinai, she who is the half-body of that which is born by itself. 904, Sarvakalodbhavaprita, she who is the beloved who gives birth to all time. 905, Sarvakalodbhavatmika, she who has the capacity of the expression of the soul which gives birth to all time. 906, Sarvakalodbhava, she who is the attitude of all time. 907, Sarvakalodbhavodbhava, she who gives birth to time. 908, Kundapuspasedapriti, she who is the beloved of all the flowers in the receptacle. 909, Galapuspasedagati, she who always moves with the flowers of light. 910, Kundagolodbhavaprita, she who is the beloved of the light in receptacle. 911, Kundagolodbhavatmika, she who has the capacity of the soul to express the light in the receptacle. 912, Sukradhara, she who is the supporter of purity. 913, Sukrarupa, she who is the form of purity. 914, Sukrazindunivasani, she who resides within the ocean of purity. 915, Sukralaya, she who has indestructible purity. 916, Sukrabhoga, she who is the enjoyer of purity. 917, Sukrapujasadarati, she who is delighted by worship with purity. 918, Raktasaya, she who rests in passion. 919, Rakrabhoga, she who is the enjoyer of passion. 920, Rakrapujasadarati, she who is constantly delighted by worship with passion. 921, Rakrapuja, she who is worshipped with passion. 922, Raktahoma, she who is offered sacrificial offerings with passion. 923, Raktastha, she who is situated in passion. 924, Raktavatsala, she who takes refuge in passion. 925, Raktavama, she who is the description of passion. 926, Raktadha, she who has the body of passion. 927, Raktapujakaputrina, she who is the daughter born from worship with passion. 928, Raktadayuti, she who is the dignity of passion. 929, Raktaspra, she who is the touch of passion. 930, Devi, she who is the goddess. 931, Raktasundari, she who is beautiful passion. 932, Raktabhihya, she who knows passion. 933, Raktara, she who is worthy of passion. 934, Raktakandaravandita, she who is celebrated as the passion of the god of love. 935, Maharakta, she who is great passion. 936, Raktabhava, she who exists in passion. 937, Raktasrastavayani, she who gives the creation of passion. 938, Raktasnata, she who bathes in passion. 939, Raktasikta, she who is soaked in passion. 940, Raktasevtatiraktini, she who becomes extremely passionate with the selfless service of passion. 941, Raktnandakari, she who manifests the bliss of passion. 942, Raktasadanandavayani, she who always gives the bliss of passion. 943, Raktasaya, she who rests within passion. 944, Raktapurna, she who gives full, complete and perfect passion. 945, Raktasvya, she who is served by passion. 946, Manorama, she who is beautiful. 947, Raktapujakassarvasva, she who is worshipped in all with passion. 948, Raktnindakanasini, she who destroys the criticism of passion. 949, Raktatmika, she who is the soul's capacity for the expression of passion. 950, Raktarupa, she who is a form of passion. 951, Raktakasanakarani, she who is the cause of the attraction of passion. 952, Raktosaha, she who is the enthusiasm of passion. 953, Raktadoye, she who rides upon passion. 954, Raktapanapurana, she who drinks with passion. 955, Sonatanandajanani, she who is the mother of the bliss of the female seed of life. 956, Kalolasnigdarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of attachment to the family. 957, Sadakantagate Devi, she who is the goddess who goes inside sadhus. 958, Payani, she who is pure nourishment. 959, Papanasini, she who is the destroyer of all sin, confusion. 960, Sadakanam Sakakari, she who is the giver of delight to all sadhus. 961, Sadakarivaninazinai, she who destroys the impurity of all sadhus. 962, Sadakanam Radhisthatri, she who is situated in the heart of all sadhus. 963, Sadakanandakarinai, she who is the cause of the bliss of all sadhus. 964, Sadakananka Janani, she who is the mother of the bliss of all sadhus. 965, Sadakaprayakarinai, she who is the cause of the love of sadhus. 966, Sadakaprakurananda Sampati Sukadayani, she who gives the wealth of delight and extreme bliss to sadhus. 967, Sukrapujya, she who is worshipped by purity. 968, Sukrahomazantusta, she who is satisfied with sacrificial offerings of purity. 969, Sukravatsala, she who takes refuge in purity. 970, Sukramurti, she who is the image of purity. 971, Sukradha, she who is the embodiment of purity. 972, Sukrastha, she who is situated in purity. 973, Sukrapujekaputrini, she who is the daughter of worship with purity. 974, Sukrini, she who is supreme purity. 975, Sukrasamspra, she who is the complete touch of purity. 976, Sukrajandri, she who is the beauty of purity. 977, Sukrasnata, she who is bathed in purity. 978, Sukrakari, she who is the manifestation of purity. 979, Sukrasavyata Sukrini, she who is the supreme purity served by the pure. 980, Maheshakra, she who is the great purity. 981, Sukrabhava, she who is pure existence. 982, Sukravstavayani, she who is the giver of the rain of purity. 983, Sukrabhihya, she who is the supreme wisdom of purity. 984, Sukraajakravanda Kavandita, the pure of the pure consider her as the worshipped of the worshipped. 985, Sukranandakari, she who is the expression of the bliss of purity. 986, Sukrasadanandavayani, she who always gives the bliss of purity. 987, Sukrotsava, she who enjoys the festivals of purity. 988, Sada Sukrapurna, she who always manifests full, complete and perfect purity. 989, Sukramanorama, she who is the beauty of purity. 990, Sukrapujekasavasva, she who is worshipped as the pure in all. 991, Sukranandakanasini, she who is the destroyer of the criticism of purity. 992, Sukratmika, she who has the capacity of the soul of purity. 993, Sukrasampakjukrakasakarinai, she who is the cause of attraction of the wealth of purity. 994, Sarada, she who is the giver of all. 995, Sadakaprana, she who is the life force of sadhus. 996, Sadakasaktamanasa, she who disables the divisive thoughts of sadhus. 997, Sadakortamazavasvasadhika, she who is the female sadhu of all excellent sadhus. 998, Bhaktavatsala, she who is the refuge of devotees. 999, Sadakananda Santosa, she who is completely pleased with bliss. 1000, Sadakadhivinasini, she who is the destroyer of all thoughts of sadhus. 1001, Atmavidya, she who is the knowledge of the soul. 1002, Brahmavidya, she who is the knowledge of supreme divinity. 1003, Parabrahmasvarupini, she who is the intrinsic nature of supreme divinity. 1004, Trikutastha, she who is established in 3 places. 1005, Pamkakyuta, she who is established in 5 places. 1006, Sarvakyutazarayarini, she who is the embodiment of all places. 1007, Sarvavamai, she who is the expression of all that can be expressed. 1008, Varnajapamalavini, she who is the giver of the garland of all expressions which can be recited. Previous 100 names of Kali. Next Kali yantras next. Things to desire. Search. We deliver worldwide. 90% of products are shipped within 5 days after payment is received. Prices shown include all applicable taxes. Shipping costs are calculated dynamically on the cart page depending on the delivery destination. We ship from warehouses located in USA and Europe. We provide highest print and product quality. Help and contact. FAQ. Terms of service. Orders and shipping. Privacy and cookie. Returns and refunds. Menu. Help and contact. FAQ. Terms of service. Orders and shipping. Privacy and cookie. Returns and refunds. See Dharmavidya.com 2018. Start typing and press enter to search. Search. This website uses cookies to improve your experience. We'll assume you're okay with this, but you can opt out if you wish. Accept. Read more. Privacy and cookies policy. Close. Privacy overview. This website uses cookies to improve your experience while you navigate through the website. Out of these, the cookies that are categorized as necessary are stored on your browser as they are essential for the working of basic functionalities of the necessary. Necessary. Always enabled. Necessary cookies are absolutely essential for the website to function properly. This category only includes cookies that ensures basic functionalities and security features of the website. These cookies do not store any personal information. Non-necessary. Non-necessary. Any cookies that may not be particularly necessary for the website to function and is used specifically to collect user personal data via analytics, ads, other embedded contents are termed as non-necessary cookies. It is mandatory to procure user consent prior to running these cookies on your website. Save and accept. Scroll to top.